Chapter 4 On Long Life. The Buddha said to all the bhikshus, "If you have any doubt about the moral precepts, you are free to ask questions. I shall now explain and fully satisfy you. I have already practiced the way and clearly attained the true nature of the all-void of all things. O bhikshus, only the Tathagata has practiced the true nature of the all-void of all things." He also said to the bhikshus, "If you have any doubts, ask me, all of you." Then the bhikshus said to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, with the wisdom that we have, we can put no questions to the Tathagata, the alms-deserving and all-enlightened one." "Why not?" "The world of the Tathagata cannot be known by us. All samadhis cannot be thought of. Whatever is said is not within the compass of our comprehension. So, with what wisdom we have, there can be no posing of questions to the Tathagata. O world-honored one, there is a man, for example, who is 120 years old. Suffering from a long illness, he is in bed and cannot get up. His vitality has gone, so that he cannot live long. There is a rich man there who is on his way to far-off places on business. He gives this man 100 pounds of gold and says, 'I intend to go on a journey and entrust this treasure to you. After 10 or 20 years I shall come back, when my business is concluded. When I am home again, give this back to me.' The sick old man receives it, and he has none to succeed him. After some time the illness develops and he dies, and what was entrusted to him cannot be found. The person who entrusted the treasure to him comes back from his journey, looks around, but cannot find the man. One like this, being ignorant, cannot think and weigh the good and bad of entrusting a thing to the hands of another person. So, on coming back, he does not know where to look. Thus the treasure gets lost. O world-honored one, it is the same with us Sravakas. We hear the kind admonition of the Tathagata, but we cannot hold it long. It is as with the old man who is entrusted with treasure. We are ignorant now and do not know what to ask regarding the precepts." The Buddha said to the bhikshus, "If you question me now, it will benefit all beings. That is why I say that you should ask about any doubts you may have." Then all the bhikshus said to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, imagine, for example, there is a man here of 25, full of vitality and right and proper. He has many treasures, such as gold, silver, beryl, etc. He has his parents, wife, children, relatives, and all his family. Then a man comes and hands over a treasure to him, saying, 'I have things to do and am about to go on a long journey. My business concluded, I shall come back. When I am back home, return this to me.' After this, the young man guards the treasure well, as though it were his own. The young man falls ill and says, 'All this gold was entrusted to my care. When the man gets back home, give this to him.' One who is wise knows how to act and weigh things. His business concluded, the man returns, and what he had entrusted to the other is all safe, with nothing lost. The same with the world-honored one. If the treasure is entrusted to Ananda and the bhikshus, it cannot survive long. Why not? Because all Sravakas and Mahaskasyapa must pass away, and the situation will inevitably be like that of the old man who receives the entrusted goods of the other person. Because of this, all the unsurpassed Buddhist teachings must be entrusted to the hands of all bodhisattvas. They discuss well, and the treasure will live long and flourish for infinite thousands of ages, and benefit all beings enormously. This is like the case of the man in the prime of his life who receives the entrusted goods of another person. Because of this, all bodhisattvas can well pose questions. What wealth we may have may be likened to a mosquito or a sawfly. How can we question the Tathagata on the depths of the teaching?" At this, all the Sravakas sank into silence. Then the Buddha praised all the bhikshus and said, it is good that you have all attained the unleakable, undefiled, asvara-free mind of the Arhat. I also thought of this once myself. Because of these two circumstances, i.e. that the Sravakas cannot and the bodhisattvas can pose questions, I entrust the Mahayana to all the bodhisattvas, and allow this wonderful Dharma to live long. Then the Buddha said to all the congregation, O all good men and women, you cannot calculate the length of my life. No unhindered speech of a bodhisattva can fully express this. You may, if you will, ask me about the precepts or how to take refuge. You may do this a second or third time. At that time, among those congregated, there was a bodhisattva mahasattva of the stage of the boyhood abode, i.e., on the ninth of the 10 bodhisattva levels. He had been born into a Brahmin family in a hamlet called Tara. His family name was Mahaskasyapa. By the divine power of the Buddha, he rose from his seat, bared his right elbow, shoulder, and walked around the Buddha 100,000 times, and placing his right knee on the ground and folding his hand, said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, I would now like to ask something of the Buddha. If you will allow me, I desire to speak. The Buddha said to Kasyapa, the Tathagata, the alms-deserving, and all-enlightened one, allows you to say anything. I shall expound for you, clarify your doubt, and gladden you. Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa again said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, the Tathagata, pitying me, gives me permission. I now shall ask. But the wisdom that I have is petty, like that of a mosquito or a sawfly. You, Tathagata, world-honored one, are exalted in personal virtue and are surrounded by a retinue as fragrant as sandalwood and as difficult to subdue as an invincible as a lion. The Tathagata's person is like a true diamond. You shine like beryl. All about you is true and difficult to break and is surrounded by a great sea of wisdom. All the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas congregated here are perfect in infinite and boundless depths of virtue. They are like Gandhahastans. How can I put questions before such a congregation? Only now, guarded by the Buddha's divine power and by dint of the great dignity of moral virtue of the people congregated here, shall I put some questions to you. He spoke in a gatha. How do we gain long life, the adamantine and invincible body? How do we gain great strength? How by this sutra do we ultimately attain the other shore? We beseech you to open the undisclosed door, and, for the sake of all beings, teach us widely. How can we, for the sake of the masses, become an expansive refuge and, alone not arhats, be equal to arhats? How can we, for the sake of beings, foresee papayas, i.e. Mara, the devil's, disturbances? How can one clearly distinguish between what the Tathagata says and what papayas says? How does the all-best trainer become pleased in heart and speak about Paramartha Satya, the truth of supreme reality? Become full in right good and speak about the 4 inversions. How do you do good? O great Rishi, please tell me now. How do bodhisattvas fathom the unfathomable nature? How do they understand the significations of the full letter and the half letter, i.e. the word as a composite made from the joining of the Sanskrit alphabets and possessing meaning, and the alphabetical letters and phonetic symbols in the case of Sanskrit? How can we simultaneously practice 2 holy actions, such as the sarasa and karanda that go together? How can one be like the sun and moon, like the evening star and Jupiter? How can one not yet aspiring be called a bodhisattva? How can all beings gain fearlessness, like Jambunanda gold, in which no flaw can ever be detected? How can one, though living in a defiled land, not be defiled like the lotus flower? How do we live amidst illusions and not get tainted and not attacked by diseases? As in the case of a doctor who, curing all diseases, does not himself get stricken by disease. How can one be a sea captain, foundering yet still amidst the sea of birth and death? How can one abandon birth and death as the serpent does its old skin? How can one meditate on the 3 treasures and be like the tree in the heavens that answers well one's wishes? How can one speak about the 3 vehicles of Sravaka, Pratyekabuddha, and Bodhisattva, and the natureless? How can one talk of bliss, being not yet blessed with bliss? How can all bodhisattvas be indestructible ones? How can one be the eyes and guide for a person born blind? How can one gain a multifarious head? mind-rich in knowledge. We beseech you, O great Rishi, please explain this to us. How can you, who turn the wheel of the Dharma, expand like the moon at the beginning of the month? How do you show yourself again and gain nirvana at the end? How can you, the brave, step forward and show to man, heaven, and Mara the way? How does one know Dharmata and become blessed with Dharma? How do all bodhisattvas make away with all illnesses? How do they expound to all beings the undisclosed teachings? How do they expound the ultimate and the non-ultimate? If doubts can be done away with, why not definitely explain? How can one attain the highest and unsurpassed way? I now beseech the Tathagata, for the sake of the bodhisattvas, to expound the deepest and most wonderful teachings. Everything has the nature of peace and bliss. Expound in detail for us, please, O great Rishi, world-honored one. O great refuge, O two-footed honored one, the wonderful one of all medicines. I now desire to inquire all about things, but I lack wisdom. Even all the bodhisattvas who make utmost effort may not know such depths as the world of all Buddhas. Then, praising Bodhisattva Kasyapa, the Buddha said, well, O good man. You have not yet arrived at all knowledge, but I am he who has attained it. You now ask about the deepest depths of the undisclosed doctrine. Now, O good man, I am sitting under the Bodhi tree, first having attained right enlightenment. At that time, in all Buddha lands, as numerous as the sands of countless asamkayas of Ganges, there were bodhisattvas. They too asked me the meaning of this deepest doctrine, and what they said and the virtue thereof were this, the same, not different. Asking thus, great benefits accrue to all beings. Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, the power of my wisdom does not extend thus far as to put such deep questions to the Tathagata. O world-honored one, this is like a mosquito or sawfly that cannot fly over a great sea or fly around in the high heavens. The same with me. I have no power to ask the Tathagata about this great sea of wisdom, or the meaning of the great depths of space-like extension of Dharmata. O world-honored one, this is like a king who hands over to the hands of the officer in charge of treasures a bright gem that was housed in the knot of his hair, and the officer, on receiving it, increases the guard. The same is the case with me. Having received the depths of the Tathagata's Mahayana teaching, I shall guard it all the more carefully. Why? This is but to make me attain the great depths of wisdom. Then the Buddha said to Kasyapa, O good man, listen clearly, listen clearly. I shall now tell you the cause of the Tathagata's longevity of life. The Bodhisattva, through this action, gains long life. For this reason, listen with your best attention. Having listened, speak of it to others, O good man. Having thus practiced, I attained unsurpassed Bodhi. I, for the all beings' sake, now speak of this. O good man, as an example, a prince transgresses against state law and is chained up in the prison. The king pities him and, riding on a palanquin, goes himself to the prison because he loves the prince. The same with the Bodhisattva. If he desires to have a long life, he should guard and protect beings and view them as one would view one's only son, and abide in great loving kindness, great compassion, great joy, and great equanimity. Also, he should impart the precept of non-harming to them, and teach them to practice all good things. Also, he must let all beings abide peacefully in the 5 moral precepts and the 10 good deeds. Furthermore, he will get into such realms as hell, hungry preta, animal, and asura, and free all these beings from where they are suffering, emancipate those not yet emancipated, pass over those who have not yet gained the other shore, give nirvana to those who have not yet attained it, and console all who live in fear. Acting thus, the Bodhisattva gains longevity of life and unmolested, unlimited freedom in knowing. And when the time comes, he gains life in the high heavens. Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, you say that the Bodhisattva Mahasattva regards all beings as just as one views one's only son. The thought is too deep, and I cannot fathom it. O world-honored one, you say that the Bodhisattva views beings with an all-equal mind, and views them as he would look upon his only son. But things are not so. Why not? Amongst the Buddhists, there are those who break the moral precepts, those who commit deadly sins, and those who transgress against wonderful Dharma. How can it be that he, the Buddha, can have the same attitude of mind towards them as towards his only son? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, it is so, I view all beings as I view my own Rahula. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, once on the 15th of the month, on the day of Pasada, among the congregated who were strict and pure in the moral precepts, there was a boy who did not quite seriously observe the three actions of body, mouth, and mind. He hid himself in a dark place and secretly listened to what was said. Goyapada, receiving the divine power of the Buddha, crushed this boy into dust with a vajra. O world-honored one, Goyapada acted so badly that the boy's life was taken. How could you look upon all beings as you do your own Rahula? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, do not speak thus. This boy was none but a transformed, illusory, projected one, not a true one. This was but to repress breaking of the precepts and transgression against Buddha Dharma and to remold beings. Even the Vajra and also Goyapada were transformed existences. O Kasyapa, there are in this world those who slander wonderful Dharma, Ichantikas, those who harm others, those who abide in twisted views, those who purposely act contrary to the moral precepts. I pity all and have loving thought, just as one has towards one's only son, as in the case of Rahula. O good man, to illustrate, when the officers of the royal court break state law, the king punishes according to the rules relating to the sins committed and does not leave the officers unpunished. The Tathagata does not act thus. He makes those who violate the precepts undergo such procedures as being driven out, reprimanded, put under surveillance, impeached or banished for non-confirming of the sins committed, for non-repentance, and for non-forsaking of twisted views. The reason, O good man, why the Tathagata imposes the suppressive moral precepts on those who slander Dharma arises from the fact that he desires to show those who transgress that karmic consequences ensue for what one has done. O good man, know that the Tathagata desires to bestow on evil beings what need not be feared. He emits 1, 2, or 5 beams, so that those who encounter this light will be rid of all evil acts. Now the Tathagata has so many uncountable means of such power. O good man, if you desire to see Dharma which cannot be seen, I will now explain to you all about what you can see. When I have entered Nirvana, a bhikshu who is perfect in the deportment of a bhikshu and who observes wonderful Dharma may come across one who transgresses. If this bhikshu drives away, reproaches, impeaches, or remolds such an evildoer, he will be blessed with weal which one cannot measure or tell of. O good man, to illustrate, there is a tyrant king who does evil things, and happens to suffer very seriously from illness. The king of a neighboring state, hearing of this, mobilizes the army to overthrow the state. At this, the king, having no power to resist the attack, repents and tries to do good, and the weal of the king of this neighboring state will be uncountable. The same with the precept-observing bhikshu. If he drives away or reproaches those who act against Dharma and makes them do good, an incalculable amount of weal will be his. O good man, as an illustration, in the fields and around the houses where a rich man dwells grow many poisonous trees. Seeing this, he fells all of them, and there is no more of them. Or white hair appears on the head of a young man. He feels ashamed of it, cuts it off, and does not allow his hair to grow long. The same is the case with the precept-holding bhikshu. If he sees any person who breaks the precepts and transgresses against wonderful Dharma, he should drive away, reproach, or impeach such a person. If a good bhikshu, seeing one who transgresses against Dharma, does not drive away, reproach, or impeach such a person, know that this bhikshu is the enemy of the Buddhist teaching. If he drives away, reproaches, or impeaches such a one, he is my disciple, a true disciple. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, O world-honored one, you may say that you look upon all beings equally and treat them as you would an only son such as Rahula. This is not so. O world-honored one, a person may try to harm you with a sword, or there may be someone who tries to paint the Buddha's body with sandalwood paste. If it is the case that you view both persons with the same eye, how could you cure moral offenses? If it is the case that this cures moral offenses, this does not make sense. The Buddha said to Kasyapa, "An illustration, O good man. The king, minister, and prime minister may desire to bring up their sons who are right-set in countenance and sharp in intellect. One of those fathers takes 1, 2, 3, 4 such sons and hands them over to a strict teacher who says to him, 'Please teach my sons deportment, good behavior, the arts, writing, and reckoning. These my 4 sons will study under your guidance. Even if 3 of my sons die of goading, teach the last with whatever means you may see fit. I may lose the 3, but I shall not be vexed.' O Kasyapa, are the father and the teacher responsible for killing?" "No, O world-honored one. Why not? Because a loving mind was at the bottom of their actions. What there is here is accomplishment, but not an evil mind. Such teaching will be met with good to a limitless extent. O good man, the same is the case with the Tathagata. He views those who transgress Dharma as he views his only son. The Tathagata now entrusts unsurpassed wonderful Dharma to the hands of kings, ministers, prime ministers, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas. All of these kings and the 4 classes of the Buddhist Sangha will encourage those who practice the Buddha's teaching and enable them to increasingly observe the moral precepts, practice meditation and wisdom. If there are any who miscarry these 3 aspects of Dharma, and if there are those who are indolent and who break the moral precepts, the kings, ministers, and the 4 classes of the Buddhist Sangha will work hard and remold such people. O good man, should all these kings and the 4 classes of the Buddhist Sangha be blamed or not? No, indeed, O world-honored one. O good man, these kings and the 4 classes of the Buddhist Sangha are not to be blamed. How could it be that the Tathagata is to be blamed? O good man, the Tathagata well observes such impartiality, looking upon all people as one would one's only son. Such a one who practices the way is called one who practices the all-equal mind of a bodhisattva, and one who possesses a mind that loves an only son. O good man, the bodhisattva practicing thus gains a long life and is now able to see what took place in the past. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, you say that a bodhisattva practicing impartiality can well view beings as just as one views one's only son, and that such a person gains long life. But you should not say this. Why not? One who knows Dharma indeed speaks well of filial duty. But back home he beats his parents with tiles and gravel in defiance of the fact that one's parents are the best field of wheel, where much wheel comes about, such as is the most difficult of difficult to encounter. Where the person should be making offerings, he performs evil. There is a distinction between what this person knows and what he does. What the Tathagata says is also like this. The bodhisattva practices impartiality and views beings as an only son, and he gains a long life, can look into the past and live eternally, and there cannot be any change. Now why is it that the world-honored one is like a person with the shortest life in the world? Does not the Tathagata entertain hatred against all beings? O world-honored one, what evil acts did you perform in the past? How many evil acts did you commit so as to gain the shortest life, which does not even extend to 100 years? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, "O good man, under what circumstances do you bring across your lips all such rough-hewn words against the Tathagata? The life of the Tathagata is the longest and most superior of longest lives. He is eternal Dharma, is the unsurpassed of all eternal things." Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, how did you, the Tathagata, gain eternal life?" The Buddha said to Bodhisattva Kasyapa, "O good man, there are 8 great rivers, which are Ganges, Yamuna, Sarabu, Ajitavati, Mahi, Indus, Pasu, and Sita. All these 8 rivers and all other small rivers drain into the great ocean. O Kasyapa, all the great rivers of life of all people, heaven and earth and sky, drain into the Tathagata's sea of life. Hence the length of life of the Tathagata is incalculable. Also next, O Kasyapa, as an illustration, it is like the case of Lake Anavatapa, which carries forth 4 rivers. The same with the Tathagata, he carries forth all lives. O Kasyapa, as an example of all eternal things, that of space is the foremost. The same is the case with the Tathagata. He is the foremost of all eternal things. O Kasyapa, this is as in the case of Sarparamanda, most delicious and efficacious medicine, the first of all medicines. The same is the case with the Tathagata. He is the one possessed of the longest life. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, "If the life of the Tathagata is thus, you must live for a kalpa or just less than a kalpa and be delivering sermons in the way the great rain falls. O Kasyapa, do not entertain the thought of extinction regarding the Tathagata. O Kasyapa, there may be amongst the bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas, or even among the tirthakas, a person who possesses the 5 divine powers or the unmolested, unlimited power of a rishi. He may live a kalpa or less than a kalpa. He may be able to fly through the air and be unmolested, unconstrained, whether he is reclining or sitting. He emits fire from the left side of his body or water from his right side. His body emits smoke and flames like a fireball. If he desires to live long, he can do as he wills. He can freely lengthen or shorten his life. With such divine power, he has such freedom of power. And how could this not be possible with the Tathagata, who possesses unmolested power in all things? How could it not be that he can live for half a kalpa, 100 kalpas, 100,000 kalpas, or innumerable kalpas? On account of this, know that the Tathagata is an eternal and unchanging existence. The Tathagata's body is a transformed body and not one supported by various kinds of food. In order to pass beings to the other shore, he manifests himself amidst poisonous trees. Hence he manifests himself discarding his carnal body and entering nirvana. Know, O Kasyapa, that the Buddha is an eternal and unchanging existence. O all of you, practice the way in this Paramatha Satya, truth of the transcendent reality. Make effort and practice the way with one mind. Having practiced the way, expound it widely to others." Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, what difference exists between supramundane dharma and the mundane? You say that the Buddha is an existence eternal and unchanging. If so, in worldly life too, we have Brahma who is eternal, and also Isvara who is eternal, and no changing is there. The eternal nature of self, too, is eternal. Even a mote is also said to be eternal. If the Tathagata is an eternal existence, why does the Tathagata not always show himself in this way? If it is that you do not exist thus, what difference could we see? Why? Because Brahma, the mote existence, and Prakriti, primordial matter, also do not manifest thus." The Buddha said to Kasyapa, "A rich man has many cows whose colors vary. Nonetheless, they are all of one group. They are entrusted to the hands of a cowherd who takes them to watery or grassy lands. Solely Sarpirmanda is sought, not fresh milk or cream. The cattleman, having milked the cows, takes the milk himself. When the rich man dies, the cows are stolen by robbers. They get the cows, but having no women, they themselves milk the cows. The robbers say to one another, 'The rich man fed these cows for Sarpirmanda, not for fresh milk or cream. What should we do? Now Sarpirmanda is the best of all tastes in the world. We have no utensils and no place to keep it safe in.' They also say to one another, 'We have a bag made of hide. We shall keep it in that. Although we have a thing to keep the milk in, we do not know how to churn it. It is hard to obtain what we could drink. How could we gain fresh butter?' At that the robbers, because Sarpirmanda was what they were after, added water to the milk. But because they added too much water, the fresh milk, cream, and the Sarpirmanda were all lost. The same with common mortals. There are good teachings, but all are residues of the wonderful Dharma of the Tathagata. How? The Tathagata enters nirvana. Later we steal what was left behind, i.e. the precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. This is like the robbers stealing the cows. All common mortals obtain the precepts, samadhi, and wisdom, but they have no means of working them out, perfecting them, implementing them. Hence they never gain the eternal precepts, the eternal samadhi, the eternal wisdom, and emancipation. This is like the robbers not having the means to work out, bring forth what they want. thus losing the sarpamanda, or it is like the robbers adding water when they meant to gain sarpamanda. The same with common mortals, referring to emancipations, being say that self, being, life, man, Brahma, Isvara, Prakriti, the precepts, samadhi, wisdom, emancipation, or non-thoughtlessness, heaven, naiva samjanyayatana, or nirvana is nirvana. This, however, i.e. just saying this, does not give one emancipation or nirvana. This is like the robbers failing to gain sarpamanda. Common mortals do small-scale, pure actions and make offerings to their parents. When they gain rebirth in heaven and attain small-scale bliss. This is like the milk to which the robbers added water. And common mortals do not themselves know the fact that one gets born in heaven by small-scale, pure actions and making offerings to one's own parents. Also, they do not know the moral precepts, samadhi, wisdom, and taking refuge in the three treasures. Not knowing all this, they talk about eternity, bliss, self, and purity. Though they talk, they do not know what these are. Hence, after taking birth in this life, the Tathagata talks about eternity, bliss, self, and purity. A Chakravartin, world's greatest just ruler, appears in the world. By the power of virtue, all the robbers pull back, and there is no loss of any cows. Then the Chakravartin entrusts the cows to the hands of a cowherd who knows the way. This person works out the means well and obtains sarpamanda. Due to the sarpamanda, there is no illness or pain for any being. It is like this. When the Chakravartin of the wheel of the Dharma appears in the world, all beings abandon these because they cannot talk about the precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. This is like the pulling back of the robbers. Then the Tathagata indeed speaks of secular and supramundane things. For the benefit of beings, he lets the Bodhisattva talk as the occasion arises. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, on gaining sarpamanda, lets all the innumerable beings gain the unsurpassed mana of Dharma. The eternity, bliss, self, and purity of the Tathagata thus come about, appear, are realized. The Tathagata is one who is eternal and unchanging. This is not in the manner in which common mortals and the ignorant of the world say that Brahma is eternal. This eternality is always with the Tathagata and not with whatever else. O Kasyapa, all good men and good women should always carefully practice the way of the two-lettered Buddha who is eternal, i.e. in Chinese, Nya Rai, consisting of two syllables or characters, means Tathagata, one come from thusness. O Kasyapa, any good man or good woman who practices the way of the two-lettered, such a one accords with what I do and gets born where I go. If any person practices the two letters and sees it as extinction, know that the Tathagata enters parinirvana in the eyes of such a one. O good man, nirvana is the dharmata, true essence of all Buddhas. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, what might the dharmata of the Tathagata mean? O world-honored one, I now desire to know about dharmata. Have pity and expound this to me extensively. Now dharmata means abandoning one's body. To abandon means not to possess. If not possessed, how can the body exist? If the body exists, how can we say that there is dharmata in the body? If the body possesses dharmata, how can the body exist? How can I know of this? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, O good man, do not speak thus. That extinction is dharmata. Now dharmata knows no extinction. O good man, this is as with the no-thought heaven, the fourth dhyana heaven of Rupadhatu, realm of form, where there is no thought of matter, though matter is perfectly equipped, provided. One might ask, how then can devas live there, please and amuse themselves, and have peace, and how do they think, see, and ask? O good man, the world of the Tathagata is not one which Sarvakas and Pratyekabuddhas can know. Do not so explicate and say that the body of the Tathagata is extinction. O good man, the Tathagata and extinction are matters for the world of the Buddhas. It is not within the Sarvakas and Pratyekabuddhas' reach of knowing. O good man, do not entertain such thoughts as where the Tathagata lives, where he works, where he is to be seen, where he enjoys himself. O good man, such too are things which do not come within the compass of your knowing. Everything regarding the Dharma body of all Buddhas and everything regarding the various expedients are beyond the range of worldly knowing. Also, next, O good man, practice the teaching of the Buddha, Dharma, and the life of the Sangha, and abide in the thought of the eternal. These three things do not contradict one another. There is no form of the non-eternal there, no change. Any person practicing these three as things which differ fails in the three refuges which are pure. This we should know. This is to say that such a person lacks a place to abide in. No precept is fully learned. No fruit can come about of Sravakas or Pratyekabuddhas. Anyone who abides in the thought of the eternal in this all-wonderfulness has a place to take refuge in. O good man, it is like the shadow accompanying a tree. The same is the case with the Tathagata. As there is the eternal, there is a refuge that can be taken. It is not non-eternal. If it is said that the Tathagata is non-eternal, he cannot be a refuge for all the heavens and people of the world. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, it is, for example, like the case of a tree in the darkness, where there is no shadow. O Kasyapa, do not say that there is a tree and that it has no shadow. It is merely that the fleshly eye cannot see it. The same with the Tathagata. His nature is eternal, it does not change. One can see it without the eye of wisdom. This is as in the case where no tree shadow appears in the darkness. Common mortals after the death of the Buddha may well say, the Tathagata is not eternal. This is the same. If one says that the Tathagata is other than the Dharma and Sangha, there cannot be the three refuges. This is as in the case in which, as your parents are different from one another, there is the non-eternal. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, O world-honored one, henceforth I, for the first time, shall, with the eternalism of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, enlighten parents for ages down to 7 generations. It is wonderful indeed. O world-honored one, I shall now learn the all-wonderfulness of the Tathagata, Dharma, and Sangha. Having satisfied myself, I shall expound this widely to all others. If they do not have faith in the teaching, I will know that they have long practiced the non-eternal. To such as these I shall be like frost and hail. Then the Buddha praised Bodhisattva Kasyapa and said, well said, you now indeed protect and uphold wonderful Dharma. Such protection of Dharma is no cheating of people. By the good act of not cheating others, one obtains a long life and becomes well able to read one's past lives.